Yeah, I'm ready.
Coach, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just get right to it. If you could share some opening thoughts, and then we'll get to questions.
I wish we could have had the first quarter back. We put ourselves in a hole. We never could really come back. We're not as explosive in certain areas as we have been in past years, so it was a little bit tougher. But I will say that the players really competed and fought hard, even though we had a tough start to the game. Had good plans coming out at halftime. We just didn't get it executed. We lost to a better team today. They outcoached us. They outplayed us. You have to give them credit. Guys started to rally and come back a little bit. We just never could get anything established in the running game to really stabilize them so we could get a little bit of flow on offense. And then kind of got one-dimensional there when we got behind by too much.
Thank you, Coach. Members of the media, if you have a question for Oklahoma State coach Mike Gundy, please click raise hand, and we're going to try and get to you.
So since there's no questions, but I told the team afterwards, we've got to get back tonight. We got to get rested. We got to rally back, come together as a group tomorrow. Got to grade the tape, got to be critical of ourselves as coaches, got to be critical of ourselves as players, and get back to work tomorrow night and get ready for the next game.
That's good stuff. Thank you, Coach. Our first question is going to come from Frank Bonner from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to ask, after OU had that hot start, the defense did string together some stops. What did you think about how they were able to respond after those first 5 drives for OU?
Well, like I said, we came out and got behind by 21 points and basically gave ourselves very slim chance of coming back, and then they responded and we played well. You have to give credit to their coaches and their players. They hit us with some plays in the first quarter and got a big jump on us.
And then this is another game where you had to go to Ellingworth with Spencer Sanders getting hurt. What did you think about how he was able to come in, especially in that first drive?
Well, it seemed like he played good. There's some times where he had a few mistakes, but overall being thrown into the fire, he's practiced a lot. He's young, but he played pretty well. We didn't protect as good as we needed to protect. So it's difficult back there right now for us playing quarterback.
Thank you, Mike.
Our next question is going to come from Scott Wright from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Scott.
Mike, could you talk about the decisions at quarterback and when you changed and when you went back to Spencer?
Well, he started feeling better. He got dinged in the head, and so the medical staff usually makes those decisions on when those guys can come back and are ready. And so in the second half, they said that they felt like that he was okay and clear enough to go back in if we wanted him to.
How hard was it to manage that, knowing that you had a young guy out there and not getting protected, and then waiting for Spencer to be cleared?
Well, you got to do what you got to do. You play the hand you've been dealt. It's not the most perfect situation, but we had guys that competed. As I said earlier, they played really good today. But at the end of the game, we still had guys that were competing and playing hard, and I was proud of them for that. But you got to play the hand you've been dealt. So he got his head dinged, and medical people had him out and put the young guy in, and he played a little bit, and then we cleared and we put him back in. So we just did what we could with what we had.
Thanks, Mike.
Our next question is going to come from Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, Mike, could you tell what was the problem defensively, especially the first 2 drives? They went down length of the field twice in a row. After that, you played a lot better. But what was going wrong those first 2 drives?
Well, they just, without looking at the tape, it looked like they schemed us. They did a nice job with their schemes and got us in certain coverages and had plays that benefited them better. And then they made runs afterwards. A couple times we had drop coverages, which we haven't done that much this year. We'll have to get that cleaned up. But I just have to give. I would just give them credit to be direct and answer your question. I'd give them credit for the schemes they had in the first quarter.
Our next question is going to come from Ryan Breeden from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Mike. You've talked in the past about how difficult it is to tackle in open space and how you've been grateful at how well that had been going up to this point. Did it feel like it was a little bit harder tonight to make some of those open field tackles with the athletes that you had?
We missed a few open field tackles, more than we've missed all year. They've got good skill out there. I mean, they've got speed and guys that can make some plays, and the quarterback is shifty. It was a little more difficult today than what it has been, yes.
Can you kind of describe a little bit of the emotions during the game, especially near halftime when the two teams kind of met up going into the tunnels? Can you just kind of describe the emotions that happened during the game and when it got a little bit feisty?
Well, that's just part of the game. You know, with football, this is a very tough, violent, physical game, and there's emotions. I wasn't even around where it happened. Luckily, it didn't get ugly. They kind of got everybody separated and got us on our own way. So, you know, it's just football sometimes.
Thanks.
Coach, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Any final thoughts, just kind of while we have everyone here?
No, not at the time. I think it's pretty clear cut. So wish we'd have played better, but we didn't have a very good start. But maybe we can play a little bit better next week. So thanks, guys.